Convoys of desperate people on foot or in cars, trucks and donkey carts are tonight still moving south out of Gaza City and the northern part of this tiny territory. Out of harm's way, or so they hope, though Hamas claims some convoys have been hit by airstrikes. This is Gaza City tonight in near total darkness, as you can see, after power was cut. Still being battered by bombs after Israel's directive at daybreak today, giving around 1 million people 24 hours to leave. Israeli armed forces warned they will operate with what they called significant force in the coming days. Already tonight, news was confirmed of raids across the border by Israeli ground troops, the first since the mass killings by Hamas terrorists that began this conflict. These raids are not, however, thought to be the opening skirmishes of a large-scale ground offensive. Israel's order for 1 million people to evacuate south has been met with widespread condemnation. The UN said it would be calamitous and urged Israel to rescind its order.
Having endured the unimaginable, they're now being asked the impossible. Quickly, quickly, says Ahmed to his son. This is just one of thousands of families packing in a hurry. Set a deadline of hours to leave and warned it is their only guarantee of survival. And for many among Gaza's young population, it will be a long walk. Between bombs, Israel dropped leaflets telling civilians to get out of the line of fire. The message seems clear. The air war will soon become a ground offensive.
Aim here is to minimize the damage to civilians. There are significant combat operations ongoing and we are preparing for future.
But in Gaza, the number of dead has already surpassed the dreadful toll of Israelis murdered at the weekend. And in the crowded corridors of the main hospital, where they fight to save the lives of the injured, the World Health Organization says evacuation will be a death sentence for the most severely wounded.
We're still at the hospital. It's overly crowded in here. People are in panic mode. They don't know what to do. Some people are coming to the hospital thinking it will be safe here. People are literally sitting on the floor.
Hamas has told its people to stay put, to ignore what it calls Israel's psychological warfare. But along the road south, there are Palestinians who are not prepared to take that risk. The bombs and the threats, we have to go, says Tarek. And what have Hamas brought us? Just this catastrophe. In all, half of Gaza's population has been warned to leave, but there's little food, little fuel for the journey, and perhaps no shelter at the end of it. It is a forced march into the unknown.
The United Nations considers it impossible for such a move to take place without devastating humanitarian consequences. The United Nations strongly appeals for any such order to be rescinded, avoiding what could transform what is already a tragedy into a calamitous situation.
Israel's army plans to isolate Hamas fighters in these narrow alleyways. Ordinary Palestinians do not know when they will be able to return home, or even whether they will have homes to return to at all. John Ray, News at 10, Tel Aviv.